Alrighty, everybody, I had to do a new link because for whatever reason the old one expired. I got a weird message, and then people were telling me that I was offline, so hopefully I'm back online. Let me just announce that to Furiyumi now because I'm the only one that knows that right now. Yeah, that was weird. But thank you for letting me know because I feel like I was rambling and nobody was there. Oh man. I think it was the iPad screen fell asleep, and then that might have ended it. I mean, I don't even know. That's really weird. I knew there would probably be technical issues because I've never done this before, and I'm so bad at technology. Oh man, I'm not ready for this age of technology, which is bad because I'm 22. I should really know better, but I don't. Technology isn't my friend. Posting the new link. And hopefully this will work. I have it set up differently now, so it's hanging off of a book, which is right here, and streaming onto my bed so I can actually look at my screen and see what's happening at the same time I'm drawing. So I'll be tapping it randomly to make sure it doesn't fall asleep. I don't know if that was the problem or not, but I had it to where it was facing the other way, so I'm wondering if maybe that's what happened. That's my theory. Oh man. So I don't know. I think my old stream uploaded onto my account, so I don't know if anybody can see if I answered those questions or not, but if not, I'll answer them back in text and I'll double check and look at that video later. Which half of it is probably just me trying to reposition the iPad so you guys can see. So I'm working on a little star badge for myself, and I forgot my ruler in the other room, so I can't get it because I want to do Argyle on the back. Oh, that's weird. Maybe it was that I fell asleep, because then the first couple minutes would have been alive, and then it went offline. Hopefully I'm not tapping too hard so it's not annoying every 5 seconds and just clonking on my iPad. Cat breed! That's awesome. I was debating on having something playing in the background, but then I'm afraid I'm gonna get like a copyright strike if it's like Moana or something. Oh, hi you guys! Oh, it's really cool that I could see that on the corner. That's awesome. When technology works, it is really great. I do like it when it works. Oh, yeah, that's true. I was an idiot and I actually got a copyright strike by singing, well, lip syncing a song for finals week. I don't want to say the names, I'm afraid I'm gonna get another strike. But I'll make a post about it later on Furry where I can't get a copyright strike for just mentioning things. But it's a very well known song around Christmas time, and I was lip syncing and I held up a little card that said all I want was sleep. Because that is all I want in my life right now, some sleep. So I'm sure from that people can probably deduce the song. I don't know how to say it. I've been on my bed for a half hour and I already lost the pink I need for her note. Because I'm 5. I might not have brought it though. Yeah, okay, there I am. Alrighty, we're just gonna have to ad-lib it, I guess. brought my giant thing of Cali art markers. Yeah, there they are. They're actually a really awesome brand for people looking for like cheaper markers that are still like the quality of Copics. The only issue I've had with them, yes, that is the song. Yep. So, and they never even notified me that I got a strike, but I went to stream like last night to see if I can get it to work, and it said you can't stream because you have a copyright strike, so I had to delete the video. Oh well. I don't want to be a YouTuber anyway, so it's okay. Oh, I can't even stream right. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so the Cali art markers are really awesome. There it is. They're a lot cheaper than Copics and Prismas. I think they're like, it works out to be 40 something cents a marker. And they work just as well as Prismas and are a little misleading. So this marker right here, it looks like it should be nice and light. And it is like indigo grown from your backyard dark. It is so dark, and I messed up an eyeball on it because I was using it to shade the like underlid of the eye, and it is very dark purple. It lies. I know, me too, because I was like all excited and everything, and it was a commission actually, so I ended up having to redo it because it was really bad. Right? You wouldn't think it would be. Is it really that hard to match the color of the ink? Like I feel like if you could do it on 90% of your markers, you can do it on that last 10%. Or if you're gonna have them be really off, have them be darker and really off. Like your dark brown maybe is medium, because then if that's a mess up, then alright, that still stinks, but I can layer. If you have this and you tell me it's really light blue or light purple, and then it's black, I can't do anything to fix that. Unless I use Prismacolor white, which is the best thing ever. I use that all the time. Yes, yellows. Whenever I get a commission for people with yellow characters, I do like a whole test paper of just all my yellows, because it'll be like something like this is, oh, this is your lightest and this is your darkest, and they're completely switched, and it's never good. No, I actually did so many. I have to see if I can find them. A lot of test papers for Delta's wings because I wanted them to look really cool and I had a very specific idea in mind. And I didn't want to mess them up because at that point I had done everything else and I really wanted it to look special. So I like put the paper in another room so I couldn't like get distracted and try it on the real thing. And I did like a little, it's terrible. It looks like I drew it with my left hand. Like chibi of him, and I shaded him in the exact other colors that I used, and I did a bunch of different wing types and shading of the wings to make sure it looked right at the end. Uh, yeah, I have the same problem with Copics too. It's like I have like 4 or 5 of them, and I only know what color they are because I only have that many of them. So now it's time to find a pink that's actually light pink and not black. And then I brought my 2 best friends. Prismacolor white. Hi everybody who's joining. I'm probably gonna extend the stream time because my last stream decided to die halfway through. Mashi! Ah, I love your icon. A lot of people ask me what type of white gel pen I use. So here, that sideways, that doesn't really help, does it? There we go. It's the Uniball Signo Broad, but it's a lot better than I used to use the Sakura Jelly Roll, which is still really good. But I felt like it absorbed the ink, and then what was white is now just a lighter version of that character or color, and it kind of bothered me. This one still does it too, to an extent, because I mean it's white, it's gonna soak up, but this one does it a lot better. I like this one a lot better. It's a lot thicker though, so if you want to get nice thin lines, the Sakura is better for like under the lid. You can probably see all these because I can't sketch lightly because I never I was taught how, but I just can't do it. I'm really bad at it. So you can see all the little sketch mark things. I'm gonna make this a blue argyle in the back, but I want to see if it works first. So I'm trying it out on my badge because I don't want to mess up someone's order, and then I'll see if it works. But I have to have a. Oh, thank you. I really hope it looks okay when I'm done. I'm just checking the link and making sure it still works on my phone. Now I got trust issues. But if it works, then I'm gonna add that as an option, like an argyle or a plaid or whatever, to the star badges. And I actually just did for my friend Clara on Furry Amino. Did a galaxy background for these, and it looked really neat. I was very excited. It looks like it's, fingers crossed, working. Plaid. Yes, I'm gotten so obsessed with plaid now. Half my shirts are plaid. There's never too much plaid. Because you can have all the different colors you want. Ugh. And jeans, yes. I actually, this is awful, and I'm gonna admit this, but I have like 3 pairs of like the same shirt in plaid because I love the shirt so much that I don't want anything to happen to it, so I need to have more than one in case I spill paint or meet a dog. So I have like, it looks like a cartoon closet because you just see like 5 shirts of the same shirt. And then my mom, I found a pair of jeans I liked, and then I was like, for Christmas, I'm like, can you get me this pair of jeans again? So I have 2 pairs, and then I don't have to worry if something happens to the first pair. Ugh. So now I have 2 pairs of my favorite jeans. Oh, this is. Yep. That is exactly me. Oh man, that's awesome. I'm glad I'm not the only one. This is going to be the next thing I work on. It's going to be a different type of. Hold on, I put this in. A different type of badge, so it's going to be her somewhat perspective. And then there's going to be a background over here, probably a farm because I love farm. But it's going to be her kind of stepping out of the scene because I always love the digital commissions that they're breaking like the scene by stepping out of it. I always feel like that looks really, really neat. So I'm going to try that and see if it works, and then if it does, I'll offer that as a commission. Ooh, this is another type of paper I don't think I've ever. Yay, thank you. Hopefully they'll come out okay. Fingers crossed. I make way too many badges for myself, but I like being able to experiment since I know her colors and the design so well. I try experimenting with Akui stuff first because I don't want to ever experiment on a commission and then mess it up for somebody because somebody's paying for that. If I mess up myself, for myself, it's okay. But this is another type of paper that I don't think I've ever mentioned. It's cool. It's kind of expensive, but it's Canson illustration paper. And it's really nice because it holds ink and marker very, very well, but it's stiff enough to stand up to like acrylic paint if you want to do some painting or watercolor, because I'm getting into watercolor and water-based markers as a background. So it's a good paper to use if you want to mix media some stuff, which I always love doing. These markers are going to make me look like a liar now because they're going to be all like light and then be like very light on here. That would help if you guys could see. Hold on. Yeah, so I mean, the lighting in here isn't that great. But this looks like it should be almost white. It's not. It's really close. Hold on. See? Oh my god. my best friend has to share her car with her brother, and the brother did that to her once where he took the car and then she had no way to get to school the next day, and I had to help her get a taxi because I was dorming at the time, so I couldn't drive her myself. That seems like a huge hassle to have to share a car with somebody. But I'm glad she didn't, and you have a ride to school tomorrow because that's important. I've never used Lyft, but I've heard good things about it. Retweet. God, this is like all in the dark. I have like one lamp in my room. Oh, I think I brightened it up a little bit. There we go. I want to say Lyft is kind of like Uber. But don't quote me because I'm not great with that either. But better, yes. The struggle of having a pink nose and then having an open mouth, but you need to find 15 different shades of pink so you could shade every pink. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to try Lyft one day. I feel like it would have been really helpful when I was dorming to have that option. Because I lived, Mercy is at the bottom of a hill, and town was at the top of the hill. So especially in the winter with the blizzards and everything we would get, you'd have to walk uphill in the snow. And it just sounded like a bad joke, like uphill both ways back in my day. Yeah, honestly, it's an awesome school for what I'm going for, so I dealt with it, but it was never fun in the winter because they always closed the cafeteria, so there were times that we had like no food. Now, thank goodness I'm a little bit of like a pack rat and I prepare for even like the worst case scenarios. But there were times that a lot of exchange students that were on my floor didn't have any food and they didn't have like their parents and families were on the other side of the world, so they couldn't call them and ask for like money or anything that way because of the time zone difference. And then I had to give them food because I felt terrible because they had nothing. And I always had more than what I needed because I worried. It was actually fun because this is terrible, but people at the first year of dorming, because I'm so painfully shy, actually thought I was medically a mute. So even my RA, at the end of the semester, I was talking to one of my friends because we were drawing outside, and she came up to me. She's like, "I didn't know you could actually talk," and literally everybody thought I was a mute because I never talked to anyone. That was so funny though, because once I'm comfortable with somebody, I don't shut up. But if I'm not comfortable with you, I'm just like in the corner drawing. No, it's hilarious. Like, it's funny because it's one of my friends who's really sarcastic. So whenever her and I are like joking around and we get loud, it's like, be careful, you're gonna ruin your reputation for being a mute. Oh man. I actually just got her into the furry fandom too. I feel very accomplished. I finally converted her. Two itty bitty eyes. This many markers. And then all the blue ones in here. Yes, I do have a reputation. It's terrible. But it was so funny. Ooh, I can show you guys a cool trick I learned for pupils. Now that I've colored it and you can't see it. But if you, let me see if I can make it focus a little bit more. If you leave a little area uncolored in the middle of the pupil, when you're done coloring it, if you have a gel pen or any like a colored one or even like a color like this to color in the middle of the pupil. When it's done, it'll look more lifelike because there's always a little bit of light reflecting in the middle of the pupil when light hits it, so it'll actually look a little bit more realistic if you add like a lens flare type of thing going on in the pupil. That's something I've only just learned now, and it was after watching a bunch of different reference shows when I was babysitting, so cool little thing I learned. Yeah, people that can do that are really talented, because I've tried leaving like it just white, and it always looked like they were possessed, so I usually just fill it in with pink or purple, but white totally works too. People who can do that have my respect, because I really can't do that at all. I've tried. Oh man, I love drawing eyes. It's like my favorite part. I usually leave them till last because they're just so much fun. I feel like you can put life into them that way. That is not true, and I will literally come there and smack you. I will drive down. Mashi says she can't do anything well. That is not true. Look at their art. Their art is amazing. I've mailed you things. I know the state. I'll just drive around until I find you. Oh my god, it's not letting you send that many messages? Take a break and try again. Oh my god, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, no, it should let you spam things. I love spam. Oh my god, I almost want that on a t-shirt now. Just that error message, because I feel like that's me when I meet dogs. It's like, you need to take a break. Leave the dog alone. I think next time I will try having music and then just not uploading it. Oh, there's my cat. Oh man. I haven't used these colors in a while. Let's see if they work. Never stop. I didn't even know there was an error message like that. That's like so mean. Like, you're not allowed to talk to people. I like seeing everything pop up on the little corner, and I can actually read things. That's awful. It's me to be a mute. Oh, I'm rubbing off on you, apparently. It's contagious. Think of the children. So I'm thinking maybe next time I'll have like a Disney movie in the background and I just won't upload it. Because I could rock out to some Moana right now. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still hardcore obsessed. Ooh. I'm gonna have to look that up. I've never heard of that song. Oh man. Why is it yelling at you? That's so weird. I wonder if there's something I can change on the settings next time where it won't that message won't pop up, or if that's just a stuck YouTube thing. You've been sending too many messages. Take a break and try again. Ugh. That's awful. Oh, that sucks. That's a standard setting. That should be something like if you, I don't know, subscribe to YouTube Red or something, it'll let you take that off. I don't even know what it is. I just know it exists. I don't know what YouTube Red actually is. Feel free to let me know if it lets you. Oh, okay, then never mind. See, this is what I'm talking about with the marker's lie. That's the color. That's the color. Actually, might have been this marker. Because in situations like that, I'll just try using this. And that somewhat helps, but yeah, I actually think it was this one in general. But other than that, they're really awesome markers. I definitely recommend them, but it's just, eh. Yeah, I don't trust them either now. The Topsa markers, even like my one art friend who actually graduated in an art program, we joke that we don't even trust highlighters. Water soluble graphite pen. That is the longest name for an art supply I've ever heard. I love people who could really pull off water-based things, like any watercolor artist or things like that, because I have those materials and I've used them, and it always looks like a 5-year-old did it. And I can never like pull it off where it's like, wow, that looks amazing. It's like, wow, really? Did you do that with your ankle? So if you're a watercolor artist, I love you and you have my respect ever, forever. Because that stuff is really hard. Even when you're doing something simple, to make it look nice is really, really hard. I don't know how people do it. It's like black magic. I keep migrating away from the camera, sorry. Oh yeah, ink paintings. There's these, I don't remember what they're called, but pencils where it's like water-soluble ink. And you use them and then you use them the same way you would with watercolor pencils. And it's, oh my god, it's incredible. I want to get back into watercolor pencils again. I just bought some recently at AC Moore because they were having a sale. And I can't ignore things that are on sale. That's totally what I mean. Oh. I've heard of Aquarelle products before for other things. I've never used their ooh, that's dark. I wanted something for her eyelid. Oh yeah, let me know what they are because I might buy them because I'm an impulse buyer for art supplies. Which is awful. That should not be something you're an impulse buyer for because those things cost a lot of money. It sucks that the colors aren't coming up that well on the stream. I promise they're a lot warmer than what they look like on here for whatever reason. Probably just camera quality or something technical like that that I don't know anything about. I'm glad this stream hasn't gone offline yet. That's always good. Ooh, I'm excited I see caps lock. That usually means good things. That's neat. I might have to look into that. I do apologize for like 90% of the stream is me just testing out my markers. I want to start shading her, but I don't have the colors I need. The struggle. You can have a whole thing of markers and you still don't have like the 2 colors that you need. Oh, my cat's being a nut. Ooh, I have a blender. I've never used blending markers, so I have no idea how good they are or how exactly they work. I don't like them. I've decided I don't like them. Do any of you guys have experience with blending markers? Or like the blenders in general? Yeah, I feel like they're there and then I don't really use them because I don't like them. Like, I don't feel like it's cheating or anything, I just don't... I don't think that of them as an option, I guess. Yeah, I need to do that one day. The only problem is my other markers, the Ohuhu ones, is they're like the ink on top that tells you like the number and everything that way completely like rubs off after like you use them twice. So I've tried making swatches for them, but then I can't identify what marker that swatch is for. So I kind of gave up on that, but I definitely think I'm going to have to do it for the Cali Art ones because they're just too different. Yeah, the struggle's real. That's the only thing I don't like about them. Oh, that's a good idea. I can like write Egyptian hieroglyphs or something on there. Nobody can stop me. I'm not sure how much of that you guys can hear, but that's my cat running around amusing himself. I'm going to shade with Prismacolors instead. Yeah, he's a nutball, but I love him very much. He was actually a rescue case. It was an animal abuse situation. And they thought he was going to die because he was a couple months old and the size of like a Beanie Baby toy, and he weighed less than a pound. And when we adopted him, they were like, hey, like, just to let you know, we don't know how healthy he is. He's the runt and everything. And he's still so small. But we fattened him up, so now he's like 15 pounds. He's a little bit of a chunk. But he's a big cat. It's not that he's obese or anything. He's just large. But we had to work with him because he was thrown out of a car when he was a kitten. So whenever we took him to the vet, he would freak out in the car because he like remembered that. So I had to work with him for a while, like taking him on little trips and everything, just for fun. So now he's better with it. The good thing I followed the case and the guy actually ended up getting arrested and getting jail time, which is what he deserved. Which is good. I think he's somewhere in the Midwest now, because he wasn't from around here. Oh yeah, obese cat. It's so bad because they get something called hepatic lipidosis when they're really chunky and they don't eat for like a day or two, because then their liver goes to make new glucose for them because they're not eating, and all their fat goes to their liver. We have to deal with that a lot at the animal hospital I work at. That's something I've never heard of before going to vet tech school. Look how well I can draw on the lines, guys. That's how we like white gel pen. Oh no, is YouTube yelling at you too? I really don't like that it does that. It's like not fair. I've gotten that alert sometimes at on Furry Amino when I try to send too many pictures all at once and my phone tells me to slow down. And then I get kind of like self-conscious because no, you should be able to send a bunch of pictures if you want to. But I don't know if that's a Furry Amino thing or just my phone. I have gotten the you made too many public chats thing before though. You shall not be silenced. Yeah, I wonder, I just changed from iPhone to a Motorola, so that might be a Motorola thing. It wouldn't surprise me. Or a Wi-Fi thing. I feel like this color's looking really pink, and it never has before. This is a marker that I lost to my couch for like 6 months. I couldn't find it. And then one day my dog dropped her bone in the couch, and I was digging around and I finally found it, and I was very excited. But now that I've used other colors to like substitute, it it's not the same. So now I don't use it as much. Oh yeah, so I ended up cheating and I know I might change back. The only thing I really like about the Moto though is the battery lasts so long, which is really nice because I check my phone. I'm on Furry Amino almost all the time, like scrolling through my feed and everything. So I like that the battery lasts, especially now with the blizzards where we're losing power for like a week. Oh my god, yeah, one time I looked at my battery usage and Furry Amino was 86%. Oh my god, yeah, just always have a charger, definitely. Well, I actually have a yarn tail. I almost feel like putting it on a yarn tail. Being like, no, that's my character. She's 1/10 Persian. No, I need to work on my shading. I feel like my shading doesn't look that nice half the time. I actually want to do some shading studies for like different lighting and stuff to see if I can get better because I definitely have a lot to learn as far as shading and texturing goes, but it's something I really want to work on. This looks so white, it's freaking me out. Oh, Jesus. That was my cat. That's really cool. Like, I'm good at, like, looking at other people's art and being like, oh, yeah, that's their light source and that's where everything's gonna go. But then when I do it for myself, I feel like my brain just completely freezes up and forgets that physics is a thing. Yeah, actually, it was funny. When I first designed Aqua, I almost always used blue. And then I kind of started doing grays more, and I don't know, it just makes her look dirty. Yeah, definitely. Especially when it's like characters like this, because I feel like she has really short fur around here, and then it like chunks out in other areas like regular animals. I'm thinking about doing a like a little tutorial because people have been asking about how I use the materials that I do to texture. So I'm kind of, would you guys be interested in something like that if I did it? Because I recently just got these new, there's 30 of them in a pack. I have no idea what the brand is. of colored like ink pens, and it's really cool because after you do shading like this, you can really go in there and get some hard lines. Yes, draw more Mashqui. Somebody asked me where they found that drawing of Mashqui, and they were asking me like whose character it was and like what the deal was. Like at first they actually thought it was somebody copying Akui, and I had to explain to them. They're like, no, 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 that's not what it is. And I had to like try to show them what Gem Fusion was, and they don't watch the show, and they just looked at me like I had 9 heads. It's like, never mind. It's no one's stealing. It's okay. That's all we need to know. So I think that's as far, unfortunately, as I can go, I guess. I mean, I'll redo the browns. I always have to do the browns twice to get them really saturated and nice looking. Because usually by the time I do the goldenrod, which is the lightest one, the umber has completely, like, just fizzled out and gotten gross. It actually happened to me once on, Furry Amino. Ended up being a huge thing. Somebody stole Akui's old design with the regular foxtail and everything. And they direct messaged me and they're like, oh, who did your icon? Like, it looks like my character, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at their thing and they had joined like 43 days in. And at that point, I was on Amino for like 100 and, or a year and 100 and something days. So I was there before them. And then they actually like had like my reference sheet from like 2009 on DeviantArt when I was like 12. And it ended up being a huge deal. And they made a call out post about me because I was talking to my friends like, oh hey, somebody stole Akui. And when my friends found out who it was, like they went after the person. It ended up being a huge deal. They were banned because they made like threats against me and shit. It was crazy. That was God, how long ago was it? Yeah, I have a watermark. I might start putting it on all my things now. But yeah, oh yeah, it was nuts. The curators had to get involved. Um, they were actually like, maybe you should go to the police. It was crazy. I think the person lived in another country though, so it wasn't like it was god awful, but it was a little ridiculous. But the call out post against me got taken down, and they ended up leaving Amino. Every now and then I check, like I search their username to see if they ever come back, because I feel like they might eventually. Yeah, and I don't think the guy when he messaged me, I don't think he realized that I was like the original creator. Oh man, really? I have to follow that Twitter. One of my friends, Krillic on Furry Amino, their old username was Hollow Souls. They just messaged me like a week ago that somebody impersonating Majira Strawberry stole the my Celestial badge and was reposting it. It's crazy what people do and have to deal with. I feel really bad for artists that stuff is stolen all the time. Yeah, it was weird. It was on Instagram, and I had to find my Instagram account and then get logged back in because I haven't used it in forever. And I had to report it as a copyright theft. Oh, you're like the nicest person ever. I love you. Ooh, yes, I'm gonna save that name, and I'm definitely gonna look that up later. My favorite part. I have some old pictures from when I first started doing the white gel pen, and I got so carried away with it. It literally looked like every character had like pathologic dandruff. I messed up. I'm gonna fix it. There we go. Thank you. I love eyes are my favorite thing to draw, honestly. Oh yeah, I made a button of Aki's old design from God so many years ago, and literally just white dots everywhere. It was either like snowing. It was so bad. I'll post them later. I'll go on my old DeviantArt and find them because it was the very first time I got white gel pens, and I just had too much fun. It was like that, but everywhere. Oh. It was really funny. Somebody was really sweet and they made fan art of me for me, and that was when I was in that phase of white dotting everything and white gel penning everything. And she actually thought that it was Agui's design to have just white dots everywhere. Oh, it was really funny. I have it saved somewhere. I have a little folder on my phone or whatever device I'm using of fan art and stuff I've gotten from people because people are so incredibly talented. And it's so nice of people, like, because nobody ever has to make anybody free art. So whenever anybody does, I always appreciate it so much because it's very, very nice of them to take their time out of their day to do that for somebody. Yeah. Oh man, let me see if I can find it now and I'll show you guys on my phone. Aki's very original design was so Sparkle Dog, it physically hurt. I love Delta's color. I really wish they had more markers of Delta's color because that's my favorite, like one of my favorite teals, like that grayish, bluish teal. Oh man, you guys are gonna laugh so hard. You can tell what high school and middle school phase I was going through when you see that. Nothing much pyrite, just a lot of technical issues because my stream decided to not be a stream anymore. Um, I colored this, which shouldn't have taken me as long as it did, but it did because I'm slow. And now I'm just looking on my phone through my really old DeviantArt account of Aki's very, very original design, and you guys are gonna laugh so hard because it is so not. I kept the whole motif of her having like a very different tail versus body design, but other than that, oh man. I'll show you guys the two designs. Her very, very first one, and then the one that she had for actually a couple years, and I actually thought that would be her last design, and then I redesigned her to this, and this is here to stay. So I did this. I was really, really inspired by the Great Wave, that woodblock print. So this is Aki's very first design. I was dark gray with silver and rainbow tail. Yeah, I had an FA for like a day, and I never went back to it. And I feel bad, and I couldn't figure out there's too many buttons. I felt like an idiot. Yeah, Hakui's the design before this I had for quite a few years. I'm gonna look up. I had her like I redesigned her so many times. Every other post on my DeviantArt was an updated reference sheet of her because I redesigned her way too many times. You also get to see my really old awful art. What even is that? Oh, it's terrible. Look at that. It's like different head, different body. Oh man, I almost did galaxies on her. Yeah, I really like the people that can get it right the first time are just amazing as far as design goes. Like, oh man. And then I had like a phase. where I wanted her to have floppy ears, so I drew like two things of her with floppy ears. It was so bad when I had her a couple years ago when she had the dark brown, like, I don't know, cheetah spot thing. I redesigned her so often that my best friend yelled at me whenever I redesigned her. Because oh my god, it was way too many times. Like, I actually had Fursona designs that lasted like a matter of hours before I decided to redo it again. Oh man, it was so bad. It was funny though, that whole phase. I love Ignis. Ignis was so much fun to draw. I think the closest redesign, and I think I posted this like a year ago or 2 years ago. Had to be 2 years by now. A while. Long time. Was, let's see if it pops up. This one. Which was the very first time I had the whole feathers in her tail thing. And that was actually like a necklace I had from like Hot Topic. So cringy. Yeah, I think that design was the one that lasted a whole whopping 4 hours before I got rid of it and redesigned her again. Yeah, it's Hot Topic. Oh man, I go there now because of the Steven Universe stuff. Not even gonna lie. Oh man, I think that's as far as I can go with this because I didn't bring the right things. So I think I'm gonna keep this going until 11:15. I feel like that's a reasonable adult hour. Oh, here we go. One thing to mention about this, it holds up very well, but stuff does bleed through the illustration paper. Blue phase, yes. Oh my god, I had that not that long ago where when Aqua was happy, just random parts of her would like glow blue with different like symbols. So like if you decided one day like she was happy and you wanted her eyebrows to be blue, they would like light up blue. I feel like it was kind of like too inspired by Atlantis, the Disney movie one. I might bring that back though, because it was kind of a cop out to I don't want to redesign her every time I have a new idea. So if I just have a design element that's random, I don't ever have to redesign her again. No, you're silenced? Oh man, YouTube really likes the flipping. Oh, that's terrible. I don't like that it does that. Oh man, I just want to go through my old DeviantArt and show you guys really cringy stuff. Oh, some of it will make you laugh though. This stuff is so bad. God, my old characters, I designed like personas for my family, and this is one of my cousins. Can you imagine somebody trying to make that into a fursuit? God, I feel so bad for the maker. I would pay for their retirement personally, like pay for the suit and then pay for retirements. They never had to do something like that again. Oh man. Oh yeah, way too many things. That'd be really cool to see like a redesigned Mosh. I love Moshi's design though, I'll be honest. It'd be really cool seeing different things. They would die of exhaustion. Oh my god. The suit would probably cost like enough to buy a car. That would be really cool because that could tie into the white like underbelly. I could totally see that. You should have like a contest or something. Ooh, like a white tip tail. That'd be really cool. Like do like a redesign contest, but let people have more than one entry because I'm indecisive. So I can draw a bunch of different things. I tried anthro once. Didn't work out very well. Oh, that's bad. It does make me laugh though. People that can do anthro are very talented. Ooh, fursuit makers, yes. I love Made for Less because they really have animated expressions that I love. But I also love Mischief Makers because their proportions is always very nice. Even though the only issue I have with them is they do have like kind of like same face syndrome, which I have with my drawings sometimes, so I'm not dissing them. Their stuff is phenomenal. I could never make stuff that looks nice. I literally would make a different one for you every 30. I would get the YouTube silence like error message on Furryamino. They'd be like, "You need to stop now. You've entered 15 times." I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just like doodling as I'm talking. Oh, so yeah, I love Mischief Makers. I actually do want to get a full suit of her someday in my life. Plantigrade, because I really like Plantigrade. Um, but yeah, I feel like that'd be cool. The only thing I'd probably be weird is trying to find a way to put the feathers in her tail. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, that'd be hard. I'd have to commission somebody to do an anthro reference for her because I've literally never drawn her anthro. So I have no idea how that would work. It'd be like uncomfortable. But I feel like they might have to use like actual feathers, and I don't think they'd last very long being washed or anything unless I did something with like magnets or. Oh my god, no, don't do things for free. Unless save up some money and commission somebody. Yeah, I feel like I would do fake feathers and then I don't know, maybe wash the tail in like a pillowcase or something so it wouldn't get like injured. Oh my god, yeah, you guys should really check out Pyrite stuff. It's really, really good. They've done these two amazing sketches, and one's like a full scene, and it's absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, I saw a lot of people go through that phase. I almost did something of Aqui with it because I saw it a lot, like going around. Pyrite, would you be advised, like, or against me showing everybody that sketch you did, the last one? Because it's really, really good. But if you're uncomfortable, let me know and I won't. Yay! Okay, let me go through all my million chats. Did any of you guys get the you've had too many chats open thing? Like you can only have I think 1,000 open at one time, so I had to go through and delete a lot of mine from forever ago. Yeah, I didn't get it until I went to do a public chat and they said I had too many chats open. But when I first started for Yamino, like the first year and a half, I had no idea like you could delete chats. So there were chats that I joined like my first day of joining Amino. I never left because I didn't know that was a thing. Oh, here we go. Mashiga. Look at it. Look at it. It's so cute. I love it. I am such a sucker for like anything autumn themed is my life. No, it's like one of my favorite sketches ever. I absolutely love it. It's actually on my phone when I do double screen. That's in the background of the double screen, so I can see it a lot because it's beautiful. I have this on like a there we go an angle. I'm trying to decide between this ear and this ear. I'll take you guys on a ride for a second. She's gonna be running, so I don't know if it would be better to have like one ear like flopped back because of like wind shear. No, I love that sketch so much. It's honestly like that made like my day. I loved like looking. I showed everybody in my house. It was really funny because I just like popped off the couch. I was like, guys, you have to see this. Yeah, I kind of feel like one should be flopped over because like she's running. I have this horrible habit of like finishing one eye and then like having one over here doing nothing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the flopped ones. Let me delete this one. Delete. Erase. There you go. I'm 2 years old, and sometimes for fun, I'll just like draw eyes in completely different directions. Like if I'm still trying to decide which way I want them to be looking. Although one time I did that, and thank goodness it wasn't for like a commission or anything that way. But I had one eye looking to the left and one eye looking to the right because I didn't know which end I would do the fireflies on because it was like a little gift piece for somebody. And I was so tired when I was lining. I lined one iris looking to the left and one iris looking to the right, so the character had like the worst cross eye I've ever seen in my life. And I had to redo it. Yeah, thank like goodness. Oh, I have to see if I still have the photo. It was like a leopard character too. So I was like so mad because it was a really nice snout. Like I liked the way the muzzle came out. And then I started coloring and I looked at it and I'm like, why does this look wrong? Like the proportions are fine. And then I looked closer and I was like, nope, not fine. Something happened. Got lost in translation. Oh man. Yeah, there are a lot of like moments like that in my life. Or at least like art wise. Oh my god, you can hear him? That's so funny. Oh yeah, he's a good boy. I love him. I felt bad. I was one of my friends is on an online veterinary technologist program, and they need to find animals that they can practice their skills on, and one of them is listening for a heartbeat. And I was like, oh, you know, my cat's really sweet. He loves everybody, and kind of you can do anything to him. He don't care. He's like the golden retriever of cats. And she's trying to find a heartbeat, and you can't when you're listening to a cat. If they're purring, you can't hear anything but purring. And then we can't get him to stop purring. He's like one of those cats that like he's awake, he's purring. So we had to use another cat. I felt really bad for her online thing. But she was able to use my bulldog Lulu because she's a smush and you can do whatever, like look in her ears, she don't care. Look in her mouth, do an eye exam, she's down for it. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. There are so many different programs out there for like different ways you want to do it. Because most of the vets at my vet techs at my externship site actually did an online program. I think it's called Penn Foster or something like that. And it's a 2-year program as opposed to Mercy is a 4-year, and then it's the 2 semesters of externship. It's cool. There's a lot of different ways to get where you want to be that way, which is awesome because some people can't do 4 years. Yeah, I feel like the 2-year programs you don't go into as much detail because there's veterinary technician and then there's veterinary technologist. Technologists are 4 years and technicians are 2 years. You're both learning a lot in both scenarios, but it's kind of like an LPN versus an RN for human nursing is the 2-year and the 4-year program for vet techs. If that makes sense. So I can scoot you guys over a little bit because I'm not working on the face anymore. This is the worst camera angle ever. There we go. I'm going to hold it for a little while. There. Whew. Starting to slide. There we go. Yeah, one thing I want to start working on more is adding claws and like little bits of paw pad on my toe beans. Because I've always liked the look and I feel like it looks a little bit more natural. But it's not that easy. I feel like they always look kind of like clunky when I do it, so I'm trying to get more practice in. Yeah, because like even when you look at actual dog paws, they're a lot chunkier than I think people realize. Because yeah, their claws are like super bit of their toe. Oh my god, that's so funny that you guys can hear him. Because it doesn't seem as loud to me, but I guess because I'm used to it because he purrs all the time. And then dew claws is another thing I need to. Oh my god, that's true. When I was really little, we only had dogs growing up. This is actually the first cat I've ever had is Greaser. And I forgot that like purring is a thing. So I went to my aunt's house and I started petting her cat and her cat was purring. And I legit like jumped away and I thought it was growling at me because I was a dog kid. And then I like realized very quickly that like I was an idiot. But it was really funny because the cat was all like happy and purring and I like jumped away like it was on fire. And they just stared at me like, why? Why, friend? Why'd you leave? Yeah, maybe next time I stream, I'll stream in my living room so you guys can see the bulldog. Although if she starts snoring, I'll have to leave because you can hear her on the other side of the house when she really gets going. It's nuts. Actually, I have a really cute picture of her from today. Like, she'll just smush up to wherever you are to be in your lap. Oh my god. I love pugs. Pugs are, like, amazing. I do have a soft spot for all the smush face dogs. Oh yeah, man, they really get going sometimes, and it's like, it's incredible how loud they can be. When I was dorming, my mom was FaceTiming me once from the couch because I was lonely, and the dog was in her lap, and it was nighttime, so I mean it was her bedtime in all honesty. But she was snoring so loud I could hear it over FaceTime. And she was in like the other room. Like it's crazy. Oh, I'm working on like the butt, so I don't know how I'm gonna position it so you guys can see. Cosmic brownies sound amazing. What are those? Because whenever I think of like brownies, my mind just goes to those frozen meals with the penguin. Oh man, that's gonna annoy me because I can't remember the name now. Like they had like the little dessert cups. They were in like a blue tray. Yes, kid cuisine. Oh my god, that's what I think of when you say cosmic brownies. Oh man, kid. Oh man, that just brings back so many memories. Kid cuisine. Oh, nostalgia. That would have bothered me all night though. Thank you, Delta. I'm like that person. If I can't think of the name for something, it will bother me until I figure out what it is. My one vet teacher makes fun of me. I forgot the word collarbone once, so I just stared at her frantically, just repeating clavicle over and over again, and knowing that that wasn't the word I was looking for, even though it's the same thing. So now she makes fun of me. That was the same teacher. I failed, air quotes, an exam in medical terminology because they were asking you what these like abbreviations stood for. So PO is Latin for paras, which means by mouth. So on the test, she wrote, what does PO stand for? And like an idiot, I wrote what it stood for in Latin, not what it meant as a medical abbreviation. So they had to call me in. And they're like, we didn't mean it in Latin, we meant in English. Can you tell us what that means in English? And I had to redo the whole test in front of the proctor because I wrote everything in Latin because I thought they meant Latin. My life is a series of moments like that, though. It's like that's not what they meant. Oh my god, pyrite. Oh, look how perfect that is. Yeah, that's what my professor said. She's like, listen, technically, you're not gonna fail this exam, but I couldn't grade it because it's technically wrong, even though it's right. So they had to call me. It was really funny. Because the program director is really scary. Like, I swear she's a robot. Like, she has, like, no emotion half the time. Because she takes everything very seriously, as she should, and everything that way. But she's one of those, like, TV trope characters where they're really scary. Makes me laugh. It's one of my favorite stories to tell because, of course, I wrote everything in Latin and not in English like they wanted, and they had to call me in. You need to give me, like, your address so I can make you something in return and mail it to you. Because you've drawn so many amazing things and they take so much time and talent. I hate line work. People who can just go straight from the sketch to coloring because their sketches are so clean have my utmost respect because I cannot do that at all. Oh, really? Yeah. That happened to somebody. They gave me the wrong address and their sticker ended up getting lost in the mail. I felt so bad because they moved and PayPal, they forgot to update it. And unless somebody tells me otherwise, I always go by the PayPal address because I just print out like a label type of thing. Yeah, because if what happened was she commissioned a bunch of people, and then she just hit that was the address that was sent with her payment, and she forgot to update it, so she actually lost my sticker that I made for her, and then everybody else she commissioned at the same time. She had to go. I think a couple people didn't. She caught them before they mailed everything out, but some people she didn't catch them in time. I felt so bad for her. Yeah, and I feel like the new people that moved in got her sticker because they ended up like calling her and saying like, oh, they had some of her mail, and she asked if some of it was from my name on it, and they're like, oh yeah, and it turns out the wife had it everything like the old mail in a box, and then the husband didn't know that that's what it was, and he ended up throwing it away. So she thought she had all of her mail, and then she didn't, and honestly, I felt so bad for her getting her hopes up like that, and everything that happened. I ended up redrawing the sticker for her, which I usually try not to do because I actually have gotten scammed when people have said that they didn't receive their mail, and then like weeks later they'll like upload like a picture of like their bedroom wall with all the art, and I'll see the thing I mailed them on there that they said they didn't get. So I kind of am wary of redrawing things. But in her situation, I felt so bad that I was like, I'll just redraw it for you. Don't worry about it. It's okay. So I love coloring eyes the most, but I hate lining them the most because I feel like if I'm breathing as I'm lining, I'll mess up. I'm not even gonna do it on stream. It's freaking me out too much. Like it's funny whenever I'm drawing, like in public, like a lot of times I'll go to Starbucks and draw. If I start doing lines, I'll like pick up my notebook and put it in my lap and literally hold my breath as I'm lining the eyes. I'm always afraid like the slightest wobble will mess up a whole thing forever. Well, it's 11:17, and I don't like ending at weird time intervals, so I guess I'll keep this going until 11:30, and then I'll probably sign off because my mom and I are going to be cooking all day tomorrow. And I want to be a good adult and go to bed at a normal time instead of staying up to a really bad hour and then waking up really late. I used to be a really good egg, and I would go to bed at like 9 o'clock and then wake up really, really early. And then I got a night job at the vet tech department. I ended up staying up till like midnight every night. That's really annoying. There has to be a way though, because I know when I first got PayPal, I have a PO box, and when I put in my billing address, I forgot to put in the PO box, or it said they couldn't take PO boxes, and then I had to make a whole new address where it's the same like street number and street name, but it also had PO box on there. It'll probably just be one of those things where you have to do that little web drop arrow thing, and then do it that way. Because I think I have like 2 or 3 addresses on my PayPal because of the whole PO box thing. Yeah, that's really weird if it's not letting you do it. Oh, yeah. I'll have to ask around because I don't know if anybody else I know that uses PayPal ever had to do that. So I've never had to change the actual billing address, so I don't know how that affects it. I'm sure it probably does. But in theory, there still should be a way, so I'm sure you're not the first one with PayPal that's had to do it. Yeah, I feel like that should be a thing. Yeah, I'm kind of like now I'm like down memory lane. I kind of want to go through all my old DeviantArt stuff and have like a cringe fest with you guys of all my really awful bad stuff that I did years ago. Oh man. I actually have a realism piece that I want to show you guys that I was like mildly proud of back when I did it. I think it'll be messed up a little bit because it has my watermark on it from DeviantArt. Because we had to do for the art class I was in, we didn't get any actual direction. It was just here are the supplies and go make art. So I was in an art class, but not really, I guess is the best way to describe it. But we had to do realism stuff as well as our concentration. Thank you. That one honestly took me forever. I think it took me like a month and a half of working on it every day because it was in high school. Um, took forever. I might go back to doing some stuff like that and somehow like adding it to furry stuff. Oh, here's my awful attempt at oil pastels, which you can tell by the time I reached the background, I stopped caring, which is not good. You shouldn't be that way. But I was kind of done with that project because my skin was like permanently dyed blue. I didn't want to use them anymore. Oh, yeah, for real. I did a pet portrait for somebody once, and even though it took me like weeks and weeks, I still couldn't. Like, people who can do that photorealism, they're absolutely incredible. Yeah, this is Aki's the old design that she had for like a very long time. Yeah, honestly, because I feel like even the cartoony stuff I do, like that celestial badge, even though it's cartoony, like that took 6, 7 hours to do, let alone something actually realistic like that. People are amazing that can do that. This is actually the first drawing of Akui with that design from forever ago, and you can tell I love fall things. I actually used oil pastels to do the sun rays because I used to do that. I might get more oil pastels actually for my stuff now because they're really cool for doing like filtered light or oh that she has a marking there, and then I kind of coincidentally put a leaf over it because I didn't want so much blue. But let me find. Here we go. Oh yeah, she had purple eyes at one point. I forgot about that. Yeah, she had a weird. I never stood for anything. It was just a weird symbol that I did. Yeah, like I liked it at the time, And then as I drew more of it, I don't know, it was very just abrupt. I always liked having the three neck stripes though. The one thing about this design that I definitely do miss is the little moon marking. I actually might put that somewhere on Aqui now, like maybe one of her spots is a moon. Ooh, I might do that. That's might be something when I do with my. Oh, this is the only ever other time I did anthro. And this piece took so freaking long. Yeah, I actually might start working on that because I wanted to do another reference sheet for her anyway because the other one is old and I had somebody else do those feathers on her design because I lost that paper. So I asked one of my friends to. I drew the feathers and I asked somebody to Photoshop them out for me. My friend. Uh, yeah, I ended up finding it. I think like yesterday I found it somewhere. Oh, I love a lot of musicals, honestly. The two that I'm obsessed with one more than the other. I do like Dear Evan Hansen, and I am still very much obsessed with Hamilton because I've always liked history. Wicked's awesome too. This was a one of those designs I think lasted a whole day before I didn't like it anymore. No, I haven't listened to Found Tonight yet, but now I want to. I feel like yeah, Wicked is such an amazing story. Like, and it's so emotional. Like all those songs. Like, my mom saw it and she said she absolutely loved it. We might go see it at some point together because we both wanted to. It's a good story too. Oh yeah, I'll listen to like the Wicked soundtrack a lot if I'm coloring because it's so like emotional and kind of like motivates me. Oh yeah, let me know how you like it. My best friend loves Les Mis. She plays the viola, and she learned a lot of the songs for that. That's so cool. Yeah, for real. And then like not having to pay your left kidney for them. I'm just awkwardly scrolling, trying to find like the cringiest stuff to show you guys. Some of it is so bad. Especially when I first started out, I used water-based markers, which are fine, and a lot of people can make them look amazing. I'm not one of those people. Yeah, my professor, after like weeks and weeks of trying to get a ticket, finally got one, and it took him like literally like weeks. Oh yeah. Oh my god, I did this next one literally. It was the very first time I used Copics, and you can very much tell. Um, I don't know if you did. You guys ever watch the movie Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron? I feel like a lot of people either love that movie or hate that movie. And I watched it and I was like, oh my god, I need to draw a horse. Oh god, it was the very first horse I ever drew. Yeah, definitely. Yep, this was the very first time I ever used the Copics my mom got me. And I was an idiot and I used watercolor paper and it sucked up all the ink, which is why I never use watercolor paper anymore. And they died after like three drawings on I felt awful. They were so expensive. My mom's always been amazing with supporting my art and everything. Here's the first time I ever did lineless, which never doing again, way too hard. And this is actually where I first started doing galaxy stuff again, like getting into it. And I used to do it with paint, and it didn't look that great. Actually, this might be something I redo one day. This was toward the end of high school because I was actually a color pencil artist way before I was a marker artist. Yeah, so what I did was I literally as I was drawing, I erased like itty bitty little bits and drew on it instead of like doing a line. Oh man. Yeah, but when I first started, I did all like colored pencil. And it's something I actually might go back into again because I do really like colored pencil. This is the very first furry drawing that was a legitimate drawing from high school. Definitely come a long way as far as anatomy goes because it looks like she's a worm and then I just like tacked on a leg. Oh man. I was thinking of doing like a commission thing where I showed like an old piece like this and then the commission would be the redraw of it. So like this would be like a really cool like badge, like a half body badge type of thing, and their name would be like here, and the background would be like a little circle behind them. I don't know if people would like that or not though. Oh man, one last thing before I wrap this up. Let's leave this on like a funny note because this is gonna make you guys laugh so freaking hard. What even is this anatomy? Oh my god. Like the body's okay and the head's okay, but not together. Oh god. And yeah, like my old reference sheets like had like the great American novel about the character and like literally one drawing that was not helpful. Yeah, I don't know why. I was obsessed with drawing the tail like that where it looks like a weird little shark fin Pac-Man mouth nonsense. I don't know why, but it was something like and I even did that when this was an older, really, really old design. Yeah, like a whale, and I started doing it on her bangs too. It was so bad. This was another older version of Akui that I don't even think I have the actual thing anymore of it. But yeah, she was black and white, and then she had a rainbow tail. This was right after the straight black and then rainbow tail one. I think I redesigned her. God, I think if I actually had them out end to end, there'd be like 40 or 50 different designs of her. I think because back then too, I didn't do commissions or anything, or trades or anything that way. So she was the only character I drew. So after a while, I would get bored, and I would consider the boredom me breaking away from the character. and I would redesign her. But now that I get to draw other people's characters for them, I kind of am more comfortable with Aqui now than I was in the past. And even like the designs changes that I make now are like minor. I don't know why this is fuzzing out so bad. Jeez. Focus. Come on. Oh my god. Yeah, I feel like that's a hard struggle. Like, because even though Aqua is really complicated and almost nobody gets her design 100% right, at least people know, like, okay, she's chunky and she's a canine. So that way, at least, people seem to always get it right. I can't even imagine, yeah, like a different species or a species that doesn't exist. It's probably really, really hard. Yeah, I felt like I loved Ignis's colors and I loved drawing her, but I was so afraid that I was like drawing her incorrectly. No, she's really, really cool though. That was a really fun posable to do. Was hers? Oh, yay! I'm glad. Yeah, she was so much fun. I love blue characters. I have this horrible habit of like I do this eye, and then I go to do this one, and it's like really tiny and squinty when it shouldn't be because she's not squinting. I still go back and forth a lot. You'll see in my drawings of when I do smiles. I do either smiles like that or ones where it's like an actual gel, and I can never decide which one I like better. Oh no, what happened? Did it like not let you comment? That's so dumb. You're not spamming though. Ugh, technology's rude. I swear to junk. I'm not God. Oh man. I think I'll just go through and find cringy stuff to show you guys until I passed 11:30. So at 11:45 I'll stop. I'm gonna go through and see if I can find some of my old marker work from when I first started. Oh, I love star stickers. I found a holographic batch with different colors. They're so much fun. I just put them on people's stuff. Like I asked them, like, "Oh, do you mind if I put stickers on your stuff?" I think it's always really funny going through and finding your old drawings and you see where you started, or like when you saw what you were trying to do and now you can do it slightly better. This was a badge I made for somebody. Ended up actually being a scam. This was why I do payment up front now instead of afterwards, because this person ordered $50 worth of art and then left, which was upsetting. But I think this is the first time I really tried doing like different fur details for like, yeah. And the eyes were so far apart. But it is funny. I think this was done with water-based markers too, which I said are good too. They're not. It's not like they're bad, but they're I don't know. That's harder for me to make them look nice. I feel like they streak up a lot. Andrew Cardinal. I'm actually gonna go through and do a species page where I draw a bunch of different species because I feel like I get commissioned for canines the most, so that I don't have many examples of other animal groups, which is upsetting because there's so many awesome animals out there. Oh man, yes, I just got rhinestones at Michael's and I put them on like everything. Yeah, I feel like I feel okay with drawing horse faces, but when you start doing like full bodies, like especially for like a badge or something, I feel like I would like flounder a little bit. I'd have to like sketch it out a few times before I did it. Oh, I found another cringy design. White nose on a white character because why not? If I ever won the lotto and I had tons of disposable income, I'd really like to like just order a fursuit of each of these characters just to see their horribleness come to life. Oh yeah, you got bangs going on. Scene dog. And she had a terrible name too. I named her Tish. I don't know why. Just thought it would be nice. Oh, good times. Yeah, it's funny when I first got into the fandom, I wasn't the hugest fan of Dutch Angel Dragons, but they've really like grown on me now. What even is this? Oh my god. I don't even know how this would work in 3D space. Like I don't know what this character looks like from any other angle than this exact angle. Oh man. That's true, yeah. Like adding cheek fluff and neck fluff. I used to try every now and then to do my version of realism, which isn't really that realistic. But this was for a school project where it had to be black and white and color. So I decided to do birds. Little barbs. I need to draw a bird again. It's been a while since I've drawn a bird. trying to get better with like sketching out where like the muscles would be to help me shade better. I want to do some fun shading with this because I'm actually thinking about it's either going to be daytime with like a nice blue sky or sunrise, sunset with like pinks and yellows, and I'm still trying to decide. I might put a poll up and see what people think. Here's our full body because I want it to be have like more emotion to it. Alrighty, well, it is a quarter to midnight, so I think I'm probably gonna head out. Um, Thank you all so much for bearing with me. Yeah, honestly, when I shade, like, as much as I love doing like a dark blue sky, it's kind of the worst because you're just barely shading. So I'm thinking about doing like a morning so I can get some fun highlights and shadows in there. Like maybe shadow everything in pink and then the highlights can be yellow. I think that'd be pretty. I could have fun with some skies too. Um no, but thank you guys so much everybody for coming and spending the time and dealing with all my technical issues. Hopefully next time it won't be as bad. Um I'll try probably streaming another time soon. Yeah, honestly, I think it'd be really fun. Like even if it's only like an hour or so every week at a certain time. Like I really like that I can do this cuz it's hard when you're not a digital artist. I feel like it's there's a disconnect and I don't like being that disconnected from you guys cuz you guys are awesome. Yeah, I'll make like a poll maybe of like different times I'd be able to do it and see which one works the best with everybody cuz I know a lot of people are either still in school or they're working and I'm in school. So find a good time for as many people as we can, or even change the time each week so more people have different opportunities. Um, you guys have an awesome night, and if you celebrate it, have an awesome Easter. I probably won't be online tomorrow because we'll be cooking all day, but then everything will be back probably tomorrow night or Friday morning. So thank you guys so much.